anytime you can beat the Jets, it's a good day in Foxborough. Hello and welcome to Patriots All Access presented by GEICO. I'm Steve Burton. The Patriots rebounded on a short week in defeating the Jets, and in doing so, moved to 500 on the season. Can they take the next step and get above 500 for the first time this year? The Indianapolis Colts stand in the way of that in New England's final game before a well-deserved bye. We'll break down the Colts matchup, but before we do, a look back at the sights and sounds from the win in the Meadowlands.
Go Pats, I guess.
Let's go Patriots.
Yes, sir. Yes, thank you.
Let's go Pats, baby. Let's go.
Let's go Jets.
Thank you so much.
How are you? Thank you.
Make a play today.
We defend each other's back all day, fellas. Adversity's here. What does it look like? What did this group do today? Show up, fellas. Show up for each other. For this circle. Let's dominate today, fellas. Dominate on three. 1, 2, 3. Trenches on three. 1, 2, 3.
Throws down the middle, pass is knocked away, incomplete. And a good reach in by Adrian Phillips.
Good stand.
He's in the pocket. It's closing. He throws it right. Caught by Stevenson. Spins away along the near side. Then he ducks to the inside and carries across the 25. Folks kick airborne to the uprights, and that kick is good. And these teams are even at 3. From the snap to Wilson, pressure by Judah, goes it to the right, it's intercepted by Bentley, a high ball, he picks it up and runs it to the 40 of New York. Yeah, boy! Final seconds of the opening half, the snap is in place, swing of the right leg, kick airborne to the uprights, the kick is good. Left to give to Rhamondre Stevenson, runs it to the right side, breaks a hit, past the 45, off a hit, midfield, bouncing to the right, to the 40, to the 30, chased by Mosley and shoved out of bounds. He throws it right, Jacoby with a catch, first down, 4, touchdown. Dive to the end zone, touchdown, Patriots!
Good call, Dave, good call.
That's it, bro. That's it, boy. Good, that was a good try. Good. Third down, you gotta get the third down. Whatever we gotta do.
It's a shorter high snap, it's a pressure-free punt. That's kick is high, put short to the 40. Returnable for Jones. He starts left to midfield. He runs to the 45-40. Near side 35-30. Marcus Jones tackled from behind. Dropped at the 25. Launches the kick. It's headed to the uprights. It's good. 4 for 4 for Nick Folk, and the Patriots have a 2-score lead. Pulling up, Wilson looks downfield, chased by Judon. Sidestep, goes to the near side, intercepted by Devin McCourty. And a gift for the Patriots, who have it at the 41.
That might be dumber than the previous one.
He's pressured again. He's chased to the right. Matt Wilson in pursuit. Now Wise closes. A throw downfield. Intercepted. McCourty's got another. Coming back to the 35-40. Far sideline 50. Go. Devin down the sideline to the 40. Stepping out of bounds after his his second pick of the day. The Patriots have won for a 13th consecutive time over the New York Jets. And head coach Bill Belichick has recorded his 325th career win that now gives him sole possession of second place behind only Don Shula in all-time head coaching victories.
Hit of the day. Yes, sir. Hit of the day. Yes, sir.
That's the way to bounce back. I know it was a tough week, all right, but that's the way to suck it up and bounce back and compete. And we're going to do it again one more week here, all right, and then take a little break. Last week and then this week now, again, Matt Slate. Second most games ever played by a New England Patriot.
The history of that 103-year history of the NFL, there have been over 480 coaches. And this week, our head coach became number 2 overall in wins. And when you think about it, I was sort of hoping it was going to happen last week, but Papa Bear Hallis, who was one of the founders of the league and owner of the Bears and coach, he didn't let it happen. I guess he's still all-powerful, but I'm pretty proud also that 288 of those 325 wins came in the last 23 years with the Patriots. So the number 2 all-time coach in the 103-year history of the league, our coach, Bill Belichick.
I told you, it's the truth now. Players win them. Players win them. Players win games. All right? Glad we have a lot of good players on this team. Let's go, man.
It's only fitting that Coach Belichick, he has a great appreciation for history. And it's only fitting that he makes some history today. I want to challenge you guys to have an appreciation for history, where you came from, who paved the way for you. History is important, fellas. We can't forget where we come from. Because in order to understand where we're going, we got to be able to look back and learn from what happened in the past. History matters. History made today, though. History made. Let's go out here, keep our heads down, fellas. Keep grinding, and most importantly, stay together.
Coming up on All Access.
All 3 phases are featured in this week's Belichick Breakdown.
And the ball comes out, looks like it comes out a little bit high, and Bentley goes up and makes a nice play on the ball, especially for a linebacker.
Plus, a visit with the NFL leader in interceptions among active players.
It'll change probably sometime this year, probably, coming up this week.
You're watching Patriots All Access.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of the New England Patriots. By Ace Ticket, where New England fans go for tickets to all their favorite events. Visit aceticket.com. By Pepsi, Patriots watching better with Pepsi. And by Putnam Investments. Putnam Investments and the New England Patriots, proud partners committed to an active game plan on the field and off.
Time now for the plays of the week and a big win over the Jets. Coach, 4 good looks at it, all 3 phases. Starts with the Bentley pick here on Zach Wilson. Walk us through that.
Yeah, well, this is a big play right before the half here. So there's a little under a minute to go, and Jets have the ball near midfield, trying to get the ball in scoring position. And this is Peppers coming in here on a blitz, and then Judon coming on the outside, and Danicali kind of coming right up the middle there, and get pressure on Wilson here with both Peppers and Judon, and the ball comes out. Looks like it comes out a little bit high, and Bentley goes up and makes a nice play on the ball, especially for a linebacker.
Absolutely.
So makes a nice play on the ball here, and sets us up in good field position. Puts the ball on the 40-yard line, and we're able to convert that into a field goal before the half. And then we took the ball in the second half and drove it down, and end up with 4th and 1 here on the 5-yard line.
Great drive, by the way, too. Come out a little bit of no huddle, sort of hurry up, and that kind of caught him off guard. You got the personnel group that you wanted on the field then, right?
Yeah, and then we had a 3rd and 1, and the Jets made the stop there. And so then on 4th and 1, we come with Jacoby out of the backfield, and the Jets are trying to move over and cover this, and it looks like they're trying to combo these two receivers between the two DBs, and kind of get a little mixed up there. So Jacoby's open in the flat. Matt gives it to him there, and Jacoby does a nice job here of making the catch and then getting low, getting underneath the tackle and getting the ball in the end zone. So between the field goal at the end of the half and then this opening drive, we were able to pick up 10 points there, and Jets never touched the ball. So it was a big halftime swing for us.
That's a big get for you guys. You went for it twice on 4th down. It tells your offense, we got confidence in you. We're in the scoring zone. We got points. And Folk's a good kicker, but that's big for you.
Yeah, it was. That was huge for us. And
Judon again.
Yeah, this Judon here, he gets a lot of notoriety for his pass rush and his physical play, which he certainly should. But here's an example of him in pass coverage, and this is Wilson, their number 1 receiver here, number 17, lined up and being covered by Jack Jones. And you see Judon turn around there and jam and knock him down. So that causes some hesitation here with Wilson, who's looks like trying to hit Berrios over the middle. And then Judon sees Berrios and goes and jams him too. So now Wilson's really kind of running out of receivers here. Yeah. But this is a good example of complementary defense. So good coverage, good rush, quarterback's flushed out of the pocket. There's pressure on Wilson here in the end zone. All the receivers here are kind of taken care of, and Wilson ends up throwing the ball away here. And later on, he has a similar play where
McCourty gets it.
Intercepts it. So, it's a good example of good team defense, but nice job by Judon in coverage.
All right, and special teams, can't forget about them. Great return here by Marcus Jones, a rookie.
Yeah, and really starts with, being able to get the gunners here. And Jets have 2 good gunners, and Eccles up here at top, and then Hardy, who's really their big guy, number 34 down here at the bottom. He's kind of their Matt Slater. And so this is Peppers coming over and making the block, and he really kind of flattens Hardy right there and pins him. And Strong, who comes off and sees Peppers with the block, he turns and now becomes lead blocker here as kind of escort Marcus Jones. But really nice job here by Mac Wilson and Raekwon McMillan of sealing off these interior guys. And then, Mitchell, Marcus Mitchell making the block right here, about the 50-yard line. And then Jones hits it, splits it there, and then is able to, set up the offense in good field position there around the 25-yard line. And, we ended up getting another field goal out of this. So really nice job of getting the gunners, getting these guys sealed off inside, and then Jones kind of getting to the edge there, hitting it, and getting a nice run here, putting us in good field position.
Absolutely fun doing these plays when you can do them in all 3 phases, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Coach, thanks a lot. See you next time on the Plays of the Week. Till next time, Scott Zolak, Bill Belichick. See you next time. New England is 4-4 after 8 games. Can the Patriots build on an uneven performance in New Jersey before the bye? Dan Roach tries to find out.
Throw across the middle, check down to Damian Harris. He's hit and he's dropped immediately.
My high school offensive line coach, he used to call me Sunshine. So he would say Sunshine, you'll never go broke taking the profits.
We found out Mac Jones' nickname this week, and Sunshine was a good word to describe the mood of this Patriots team after a much-needed win over the Jets.
My coaches probably weren't throwing about nicknames. It was more like hard coaching, like Jawan gets your ass on the line, stuff like that. Yeah.
The mood was lighter, but it didn't get in the way of work. Work put in by a group striving for consistency.
But yeah, we definitely want to be more consistent, and that kind of goes back to your process as an individual player, what can I do to be a better quarterback, and how am I putting myself in a position to do that?
Devin McCourty strives for consistency as well, on the field and off, as a dad.
Something I'm teaching at home right now to my kids about taking your lunchbox out of your book bag when you come home from school every day. Like, being consistent at it. Some days they do it, some days they don't.
Deep shot for Pierce down the field. He's got it! Touchdown!
As for this week's opponent, it's the 3-4-1 Colts, a team that ran for 226 yards last year in a 27-17 pounding of the Pats, a game that wasn't as close as the final score indicates.
It's going to be a tough challenge for us, so we just got to make sure that we bring our pads with us. If we don't, then it can get ugly, and we've seen ugly, and we don't want to see that anymore.
And finally, after Sunday's game, the Pats get their bye week, but it's not a major topic in the locker room.
We're not too focused on the bye anyway. Our main focus is the game at hand. I feel like you lose track of everything when you focus too far into the future. But right now, our focus is solely on this game.
Meanwhile, running back Rhamondre Stevenson has been impressive in his second season with the Patriots. In fact, he's just one of 2 running backs in the NFL to have over 500 yards rushing and 200 yards receiving. The other, Christian McCaffrey of the San Francisco 49ers. For Patriots All Access, I'm Dan Roach.
All right, Dan Roach, thank you very much for joining me now. It's Patriots captain Devin McCourty. Your brother was at the game. You saw your brother before the game. Did he bring you good luck?
I think so. He made a joke that if we need to, he'll talk to Bears and Bill, and we'll talk about flying him in and flying him back home for every game. But that might be a little. I don't know if he's worth that much.
It's pretty special having him there, though, right?
Yeah, man, it was really cool. Saturday, he came over to the hotel and just hung around, some of the guys that he knew, and then he was even able to talk to the defense. So some of the younger guys got to hear. He has an incredible story. 6th-round draft pick, 13 years in the NFL. Season with no wins, season with a Super Bowl. It was good just to hear from him and see the impact he has on guys.
Interception number 32, interception number 33. You're the player with the most interceptions that is active. How special is that?
It was cool. It'll change probably sometime this year, probably, coming up this week. But it was funny after the interception, I threw the ball in the stands to somebody in the stands, and Steph Burham, one part of our PR staff, comes over to me and goes, "You just broke a record. Do you want me to get the ball
back?"
And I'm like, "What record did I break?"
You didn't know?
And she was like, "You have the most interceptions for active players." I was like, "That's not a record." And I was like, "No, I don't want the ball." No, I didn't know. I didn't pay attention.
You don't pay attention to that?
No. I'm not gonna lie. It's cool as a defensive back.
It's got to be cool.
But again, it'll change. You don't want to chase things that will always change.
Good point by you. All right, let me ask you this: when you throw the ball in the stands, you get fined for that?
No, I don't launch it. Just a nice little.
No, but I mean,
nice little toss.
So you don't have to get the ball back or anything like that?
Yeah, no, they better not find me. I'll appeal if they do.
After the game, you're in the locker room. You doused Bill Belichick with water. It takes a lot of guts to do something like that, right?
Man, that's all I keep hearing. What, I'm gonna get in trouble? I looked at it this way, obviously I would say over my time here, Bill's accomplished a lot of great things, and I would say most of the time it's not a big deal.
This was a big deal.
2 all-time, I don't know, let's say worst case scenario, he gets angry and he cuts me. I still think that moment would have been well worth me saying hey man, we doused Bill with water, just show our appreciation for his consistency, what he brings, and his accomplishment was a big deal. And, I thought about it as Slate was talking about him, even during the game of, being able to appreciate that greatness and not taking it for granted. I was like, man, I'm happy we put water on that man. Gatorades for championships, I get it. 20-ounce water bottles, that's for a nice little celebration. Good times in the locker room.
Were you worried about any repercussions?
No, Bill can't catch me anyway. If anything would have happened, I like my chances.
You being the captain, and I've heard you say this over and over and over again, consistency. You talk about it, you preach it, especially as a captain. How do you teach it?
I think you show up every day and you're consistent. I think I was big on that. I think we always talk about, even times during the year, we'll do interviews and people say, well, what do you tell the young guys? What do you tell the rookie about this situation, about the rookie? You don't, you show them. You can't just sit there and talk to people I think our guys that have been here, guys that are veteran players, how do you show young guys how to be consistent? You do it day in and day out. You challenge everyone to practice at the same tempo, to prepare at the same way you do. And then at different times this year, I'm going to ask guys to prepare more than you've done up until this point, like taking the next step up. And I think we got to continue to do that. Our guys that have been here, our leaders need to lead. And I think when you do that, you start to build consistency. And I think along with that, you build trust in the guy next to you to do their job. And then in turn, we have 11 people on the field at one time, all doing their job. We end up becoming a consistent football team.
And you think you're heading in that direction now?
I sure hope so, man. I think we're putting in a lot of work,
Yeah.
and I think we're moving in that direction.
You're a great captain, my friend.
Appreciate it. Trying.
Good luck this weekend
Thank
against the
you.
Colts. Devin McCourty, I guess we'll be back with more Patriots All Access right after this.
Another coaching legend is the winner of our High School Coach of the Week. After securing the top seed in the Division II playoffs, congratulations to Dan Olson, head coach of the Milford High School Scarlet Hawks. He is our Patriots High School Coach of the Week, beating Division I Franklin last week. With over 300 yards rushing, moves Milford to 7-1 on the year and 3-1 in league play.
A lot of things have happened for great players at the high school level, and it's where it all starts.
Presenting the award is Patriots and Pro Football Hall of Famer Andre Tippett. The Patriots Charitable Foundation will donate $1,000 to the Milford High School football program in the name of Dale Olson.
Humbling, right? A lot of hard work by my coaching staff and these kids. It's an honor to receive this. My twin brother received the Coach of the Year from the Patriots 4 or 5 years ago, so this is awesome.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access. Time to sit down and talk with Coach Belichick. And Coach, congratulations. Big divisional win for your team on the road. When you look at that game, perseverance, is that a word that comes to mind for your football team?
That would be a good one.
That's a good one?
Yes.
Rhamondre Stevenson, and you talked about him a couple weeks ago. You said, oh, love him. Really don't hear those type of accolades when you talk about guys after games. Do you love him more after yesterday?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, Mondre's really done a great job of, I would say, improving every day, whether it's in the running game, the passing game, blitz pickup, his reads, his technique. He's very dedicated and a hardworking athlete that has gotten better, really, I'd say, pretty much every day since he's been here. His training habits, his preparation, so forth.
Okay, on to the Colts. Is this the same team from December when you guys played them at Indy a year ago? I know they have some injuries, but
No, there are always changes, but I think the defense is very good, and the front's good, and they have a lot of good players there, and so that'll be a big challenge for us. We know their defense will play hard and get after the passer, and we'll see some examples of that later in the show.
okay, dangerous spot here because you got the bye week looming. What do you have to tell your team? I remember when the schedule used to come out, first thing we look at, not where we play our divisional games, but where's that bye week at? Week 10, week 12? Guys make plans? You know?
Yeah, coaches too. Nobody's looking
Coaches
forward
too.
to it more than the coaching staff. So, it's been a long haul, since started training camp in July, and
Because you've been at it for a while.
yeah, we have. Yeah, it's been really every day, and a long week with the Monday night game, and then a short week with the Jets. So, just put everything we have into this one, and then try to catch our breath and be ready to go into the second half of the season.
All right, sounds good. Time now for the Ace Ticket Twitter question of the week, and it comes from @MLair14. Game balls. You've got a lot of game balls over the course of your career. What do you do with the ball after that? Is there a couple balls where you just throw in a bag, and this one's got to be pretty special for you? What do you do with the balls?
Yeah, they're all
mean something.
boxed up. Yeah, of course they do. They're it's significant. What it represents is very significant, especially the championship balls and all that. So I was so appreciative of Mr. Kraft giving me the ball after the game in the locker room, and we'll find a place for it somewhere.
All right, if you want to ask the coach a question, you have to follow the team on Twitter @Patriots, #AskBB. Belestrator later in the show. Pretty good defensively right up front.
Very good, yeah, very good. These guys will be a problem.
All right, everybody hang tight. More Patriots All Access. We'll return right after this, and then we'll have the Belestrator.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of the New England Patriots. By AdCare. Be recovery strong. Speak up. Reach out. Ask for help. Call AdCare at 800-ALCOHOL. And by Gillette Labs with exfoliating bars. Effortless shave in one efficient stroke. This player profile is brought to you by Pepsi.
Welcome back to All Access presented by GEICO. In a game where both offenses struggled, Rhamondre Stevenson stood out on Sunday with 143 yards on 24 touches. In this latest episode of The Journey presented by Acronis and Hub Tech, we follow Stevenson's path to the NFL and his emergence as an elite NFL running back.
Respect the journey, respect the work. I need to be on top, so you know my worth.
The first attraction of football was just in my front yard, actually, just with I have 7 siblings, so we used to play football. You just throw it up and tackle the person that has it. It wasn't very organized, just running around, tackling each other, and that's when I was pretty good at it, like not getting tackled, things like that. So I feel like that's when I first realized I really liked football. Going to high school, my first year, just being in a very organized locker room, things like that, and just seeing how much everybody else loved the game, that kind of made me love it more. Yeah, the injury, that really knocked me for a loop, because at that point I had a lot of interest but no offers. So after that happened, my grades slipped a little bit even more. I took it upon myself to just go out and work, and I worked at Walmart at the time. A 9-to-5 at Walmart, like that wasn't my end game, so I just stayed focused. And in January, when my high school teammates went to Cerritos Junior College, I just made the choice in probably less than 2 weeks and said, I'm going with you, and I'm gonna make something happen. It didn't really hit me until I got to my second year at GEICO, and I had a very good year at my second year, over 2,000 yards, things like that. So without grades, there's no football. So I just knew I had to tighten up the grades. And when I went to the GEICO, from then on forward, I was on the dean's list, honor roll, things like that. When I got my report cards, things like that, I couldn't wait to show my parents. Other than in high school, I was trying to keep it away from them. So I was excited to show my parents my grades and how hard I was working on and off the field. Like honestly, when I got to Oklahoma, I didn't know how to read defense. He really made the game make sense to me and just made me be a student of the game. From the first day he seen me, he honestly said, like, you remind me of LG, like LeGarrette Blount.
Lowers the shoulders, driving the leg, taking a pile to the 5. Still on the move. Over lefty. LeGarrette Blount to the 2.
Just to be compared to a great like LeGarrette Blount, it was awesome.
The New England Patriots select Rhamondre Stevenson, running back, Oklahoma.
When I got drafted, it probably took a week for me to even believe I got drafted. Like I was waking up every morning like, okay, like I'll play for the Patriots. When it really hit me though, I would say when training camp hit and wearing pads, it's the dog days. I'm in the locker room with all my teammates literally all day. And you know, to this day, I still wake up and say to myself, like, I'm exactly where I wanted to be, exactly where I dreamed of, and I'm here. I just need to make the most of it every day.
He's a good all-around back. Love him.
It's crazy being recognized by a great coach like Bill Belichick, and just for him to notice how hard I'm working and you know what I'm putting into this, it means the world, and just it makes me feel like I'm doing something right coming to work every day and putting my best foot forward.
Up the middle, run by Stevenson, a cut left out of a tackle, gone to the 10, gone to the 5, gone to the end zone, touchdown, Patriots!
All the adversity I went through, I feel like it was the only reason I'm here today, you know, to tell my story is because I took that chance and just bet on myself. And if I didn't go through all that adversity, I don't feel like I would be in the NFL today. So I just knew what I had to do, and I had to go get it.
Welcome into the Social Media Minute. I'm Tamara Brown. Before we completely closed the door on Halloween, social media couldn't help but resurface the classic clip of Bill Belichick being invited to Randy Moss's Halloween party. I don't know what's better, Randy Moss convincing Bill Belichick to come to his Halloween party, or Bill Belichick actually showing up, putting on a Halloween costume, and getting on skates. You decide. Patriots in the community were also highlighted on social media this week, leading the way with Lawrence Guy and his wife hosting their second annual baby shower for local mothers in need. This is the second year in a row the Guy Family Foundation has hosted a baby shower at Gillette Stadium, providing New England single mothers who are expecting or recently had a baby with gifts like baby bottles, blankets, monitors, car seats, bassinets, and strollers. For more information on the event, visit patriots.com. That's all for this week's Social Media Minute. I'm Tamara Brown.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access. Time now for the Belestrator. And Coach, coming off Jets week, really good front that you faced down there in the Meadowlands. Now you come back home. You got the Colts. They got some pretty good motors up front in their front four, right?
Yeah, they really do. And like the Jets, they play a lot of people, but it really centers around Buckner and Ngakoue, 91 and 99. These two guys are a lot to handle. We'll start with Buckner. You can see Buckner usually lines up in here on one of the guards in their over or under front. And so here you can see his strength, his length. He's got really long arms, and he's a tall guy, and he's able to get into these shorter offensive linemen inside the centers and guards and kind of leverage them and just walk right around there and strip sack Wilson. There's the ball on the ground. So
powerful hands, huh? Ooh.
Yeah, very explosive guy. It's kind of, Seymour type of build, long and athletic, a lot of leverage. And here's Ngakoue, 91. Okay, so this time he's lined up over here on the left side. Ngakoue is fast, very athletic, very quick. He can run the edge. He can also, make the up and under move, which is what he does right here. Starts up the field, which, coming around, run around the tackles is a problem. And then he starts him up the field and slips inside and just, makes it look easy on Tannehill. So it barely touch him. So you got Ngakoue, who's more of an end, Buckner, who's more of an inside guy. Sometimes they're apart, sometimes they're together. They definitely move them around. So here's an example against the Chiefs with this is Buckner here on the left side and Ngakoue over here on the right side. So
really spread out there, okay.
Yeah, now so it's hard to figure out how you help them and all that. So what'll happen here is Buckner gets off and penetrates and kind of forces Mahomes to avoid him, and then meanwhile Ngakoue comes around there and makes the sack and makes the play there. But it's really Buckner that flushed him out and sets it up for Ngakoue. And then here's an example in the Denver, where they're together. So this is again Buckner penetrating in the B gap there, and Wilson steps up and he steps right up into Ngakoue, and Ngakoue comes underneath and makes the play. So sometimes they're apart, sometimes they're together, and then here's a play right here with Ngakoue and Buckner. And really, it's just a question of who gets there first. They're both there, and there they are wrapping them up at the same time. Buckner makes an inside move there and ends up on the center. Ngakoue comes inside. There's the corner's blitzing out here, and the tackle takes him. But I mean, it's just a race to the quarterback with these two guys. And
it's not a ton of games, right? They don't run a ton of TE stuff. It's straight go.
Just mix it in there a little bit, but it's just two really, really good football players that they can cause you a lot of trouble. So we're going to have to do a great job on that.
I'm sure you'll be ready for them. Good luck Sunday against the Colts, Coach.
All right, thanks, I appreciate it.
All right, there's your Belestrator. More Patriots All Access. We'll be back right after this.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Putnam Investments. Putnam Investments and the New England Patriots. Proud partners committed to an active game plan on the field and off. By Pepsi. Patriots watching? Better with Pepsi. And by Dan O'Brien Auto. Come in to any Dan O'Brien Auto Group store today and get your awesome protection plan. Keeping it awesome.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access, everyone. I'm Bob's Discount Furniture Studios with Mike Reese and Paul Perillo. Good to see you guys.
You too, Steve.
The win against the Jets, something that they needed to do, must-win situation. But what does it mean?
Well, it means that they get to continue to play with playoff hopes. I think at 3-5, Steve, you'd be looking at a much different landscape going into the second half of the season. It wasn't always pretty, Mike, but they went down there in a tough environment. And I will say this about the Jets. You know, people talked about how good, how much improved, are they really? That defense was pretty good. And I thought they gave the Patriots a lot of trouble, and yet they still found a way to persevere and come away with a win, and they had to have it.
I look at it this way. They showed good mental toughness going into on the road, getting a win, and it buys them more time to try to get back to playing more consistent football. Because I think if the Patriots keep playing the way they played Sunday against the Jets, it's going to be an up-and-down type season.
I agree.
How does the offense improve? And I'll ask that question by saying this. The way they came out in the second half, there was a sense of urgency. They drove down the field and scored. How does this offense improve?
Well, there's a couple of things. I'll start off by saying the same stuff that Mike and I talked about last week. You have to start to protect the football a little bit better. They only had one turnover in this game, but not for a lack of trying. That ball was in harm's way, I thought, too many times. But the second part of that, let's talk about that first drive of the second half. How can they get better? Find someone other than Rhamondre Stevenson to carry the team on his back. Because without that 35-yard run that he gets hit in the backfield and breaks 3 or 4 tackles,
What a run.
you don't have a drive to open the second half. That was the drive. So they need to find some contributions from people other than Stevenson, and I would say also Jacoby Myers. But really very little from anyone else.
Let me ask you guys this question. Do you buy the philosophy that football games are won at the line of scrimmage? Do you generally believe that?
Ish.
I do.
A little bit? You do? So to me, this was about the Patriots' offensive line being very vulnerable against a very good Jets defensive line.
Are you making an excuse?
No, I'm saying, how do you win a game when you're really overmatched in certain areas on the offensive line? They found a way to do it. But to answer your question, Steve, how does the offense get better? You got to play better up front. Everything starts, to me, there. They had 14 negative plays. 14 plays where the line of scrimmage was here, and they went backwards.
And they won.
And they won the game. And they had 3 other plays that were no gain. So, I'm going to keep it very simple here. You're going to think I'm being a wise guy, but the purpose of the game is to move the ball forward down the field. And how do you do that?
Write that one down. I need Belichick's pencil to write that one down.
But I don't mean it in a wise guy way. And I think they know. And I think they know that, Paul. I think they know that.
Which brings me to the quarterback, Mac. How do you think he played? What must he do to get better?
Yeah, I think he was uneven throughout the game. I don't think it was all on him because of all the things that Mike just talked about. I think when you get sacked 6 times and hurried on who knows how many others, it's going to get in your head a little bit. You're going to start to look at that rush. That said, I thought his pocket presence, his pocket awareness wasn't always as good as I've seen it in the past. I thought it was better last year than what I've seen consistently this year, but I do think he made some plays, particularly early in the game, on some 3rd and longs that he converted. A couple of throws to Myers. I thought that weren't easy. Yeah, he's running. I'd rather see a little less of that, quite honest. But some good plays to keep the chains moving, Steve, to your point. I think they had 5 3rd and 5 or longer conversions in the first half. And with that pressure, that was pretty impressive.
Paul used the word uneven, so let's go through the unevenness. I think on the positive side, he showed great mental toughness to hang in the fight. I believe any quarterback would have struggled in a game like that with what was happening around him. So that, to me, is the positive side.
Agreed.
I do have to say that if that pick 6 wasn't negated by a roughing the passer penalty, and Mosley, the linebacker, C.J. Mosley, intercepts that ball that went off Isaiah Wynn's helmet, the context of this discussion might be a little bit different because the result possibly would have been different, right? So I think that's the unevenness of it. He's still sort of living on the edge. I'm still feeling from him that it's not 100% comfort.
And it's a simple one for me, Steve, and Bill Belichick says this all the time. It's the job of the quarterback to move the ball and score points. And they really didn't do that in this game.
Now they're coming home. How do they match up against Indy? Prediction time.
I think they squeak by. I'm going to say the same exact score I did last week, 16-13 Patriots.
Wow, you're going low scoring. I'm a little higher. I think they develop a little bit of momentum heading into the bye. 27-13 Patriots.
So both of you guys have them a game over 500.
Yes.
This week. All right, guys.
Heading into the bye.
Love that. That will do it for this week's edition of Patriots All Access. For Mike Reese and Paul Perillo, I'm Steve Burton. Have a great week, everybody.